On today's episode of the Real Recovery Podcast, episode number 88, Peter and Colette sit down with Phoenix G, whose journey stretches from a first drink in early childhood and surviving violent discipline at home to finding his people in AA's Lunch Bunch. At 63, Phoenix shares how showing up to meetings, working with a sponsor, serving as a meeting secretary, and setting hard boundaries, including ending a marriage to protect sobriety, built a real path forward. This is recovery in action, one day at a time.
Hey, this is Julie with the Real Recovery Podcast.
And this is Peter, and we need your help.
We really sincerely are looking for help. Peter and I have put a lot of time into this podcast. And when I wasn't working and going through a lot, this podcast really just saved me, keeping my mind busy. But producing it, paying for what we've paid for and the time has really, it's cost a lot of money. And in order to keep going for the next year, we will need some donations.
Yeah.
We've survived off how much, Peter?
It was just under $800, and that pretty much bought t-shirts and cards and for promotions and bracelets for promotions. But as far as our time and the services that we use, because it costs to post the podcast and there's software involved, there's a lot of costs.
Well, and we're on so many platforms as well.
Yeah.
We come to you on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and all that is a publication cost as well.
Yeah. And so it comes to just over $1,000 per episode of combined time and services. And we do it because we love what we do and we love getting the message out. And we've heard feedback from you all who listen that how much you appreciate and love the show. And so we're just asking if you can make a donation. We have donation links everywhere on our website. You can go to donate.realrecoverypodcast.com. Even just $5, that's a cup of coffee at Starbucks. In fact, it's cheaper than a cup of coffee at Starbucks. And a monthly
$5 a month would be what, $60 a year?
Yeah, it doesn't take much, but it all adds up, and it would really give us a leg up on being able to continue putting out a weekly show for the future.
Yeah, and we have over 10,000 listeners. We're 32nd in Australia. I say that all the time because it overwhelms my brain that we're even international and that anybody can listen to us at any time for free. So if you could donate, we would really appreciate it. Put us on your giving list for Christmas.
Yeah, the holidays are coming, so it's giving season.
Yeah, we really do need that to be able to continue in 2026.
Definitely.
So we hope to hear from you.
Yeah.
Buy us a cup of coffee.
Please. All right. And thanks for listening. And now on to our episode.
Thanks again.
Hello, and welcome to the Real Recovery Podcast. I'm Julie, your co-host. On this journey of healing and transformation, together with my co-host Peter, we dive into the heart of recovery, sharing stories that resonate with courage and inspiration.
That's right, Julie. Each episode is a new chapter in this vast narrative of recovery, and we're honored to bring them to you. But keep in mind the perspectives you'll hear are for informational purposes only and may not reflect the views of the podcast or our partners.
Indeed, while these conversations can be a powerful part of your recovery toolkit, they are not substitute for professional medical advice. We encourage you to seek guidance from your healthcare provider for any treatment-related decisions.
And if you're facing an immediate crisis, or if you just need to talk to someone who understands, don't hesitate to call the Recovery Crisis Line at 503-223-8569. That number is also on our website. Help is available 24/7.
Now let's begin our episode
of Recovery, Real Recovery.
Hello, everybody. This is Peter with the Real Recovery Podcast, and I am again with my guest host. Yay!
Yay!
Colette, welcome to you're going to become a regular guest host, I think.
Thank you so much.
Everybody will be hearing more of her on our show, and we are joined today by our guest, Phoenix.
Hey,
Phoenix G.
Hello,
Welcome
everybody.
to the podcast. We're so glad to have you here, and thank you for trekking out to Southeast to our humble abode here. My Studio H is we call it.
Yeah, and you beat me here today.
I didn't try to do Cubs. I didn't talk to anybody. It's just like, I didn't get it out there. So,
You came right from the meeting.
yeah.
Yeah, that's where I first met you, was at the lunch bunch. And it was, I think, the first time I went, as people who listen to this know, I went from one club that I wasn't feeling comfortable with and found the lunch bunch. And it was Dawn who brought me to the lunch bunch. And I've been so grateful ever since. That's my family. I found my people. And I think you were there the first day, or maybe it was within the first few days, and big hug and big welcome, and just made me feel like, wow. And I immediately clicked. I was like, I like this guy. So yeah, that in part made me feel like, wow, this is my home now. This is where I'm going to stay.
Exactly.
Appreciate that.
I have my own story with you, but I'll let you tell your story and then I'll interject how I know you.
Okay.
So how are you?
Doing okay. Life is amazing. Sobriety is amazing. And I'm dating 3.5 years into sobriety, and which is the first time ever dating, period. Every
Wow,
time.
that's cool.
Yeah. It's always been the sex and then a relationship. And now we're actually haven't had sex yet, but we're just dating. We talk a lot on the phone.
I love that.
And I hate talking on the phone. And yeah, it's just, so we're taking it slow, and I don't want to fall into old habits and patterns, really fighting that. And AA is making sure I stay in the middle of sanity, that because love is blind and can be a little rocky.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
so my story, I'm 63, and my first drink was at 3 years old. I think it was my first, definitely drunk. Doesn't take much to get a 3-year-old drunk. My parents were having a party, and I just drank what they drank. And I enjoyed it. Got a lot of attention out of it. Felt happy. And I don't remember how well I slept that night, but I'm assuming that I slept really well.
Yeah.
I didn't have a problem sleeping back then. But I knew I liked it. And for the rest of my life, I would just drink as often as I can. And in the end, as much as I can. I wanted to get to that blackout state. And my childhood was not perfect. There was a lot of physical abuse there. My mother used to whip me as hard as she could with whatever she could against bare flesh. And then once I stopped crying, then she stopped hitting me. So I learned not to cry. And my dad was strong enough. He just hit me with his hand. And
I can relate to that. I just want you to know. I can totally relate to whatever they had, whatever their hand landed on is what landed on me.
Yeah. I remember having a loose tooth once, and I think I was in first grade. So whatever age that is. And my dad hit me, and apparently they couldn't find the tooth in the kitchen. So they assumed that I swallowed it.
Oh, wow.
And my dad bragged about that. It was interesting.
Yeah, and there were, back in our day, there wasn't like call 911 on your parents or
No, there's no child protective services,
at all.
Nothing.
Like
And of
no
course,
one's coming.
Yeah, we lived in the suburbs of St. Paul, and nothing like that. And another time my dad attacked me. He'd grabbed my shirt so hard, and his nails dug into my flesh and started to bleed.
Oh.
And of course, once I took my shirt off, it's, oh, what happened to you? And it's just, oh, nothing. So I learned how to hide really well. And yeah, it was just a series of that throughout my whole life. And we moved around a lot, so I never really got to develop a lot of friendships in my life. And that's still something that's really surprising to me. And then I was about 9 years old. And I was small, almost dwarfish when I was younger, didn't grow until the 10th grade. So I got picked on a lot by my parents, by my brother and my sister, and everybody at school where I went to. So I had no fortress of solitude.
Yeah.
No relief. No relief.
No relief.
Yeah.
So at 9 years old, my brother and sister we were doing dishes, and my brother and sister continues to pick on me, and I grabbed a knife and shoved it into my chest.
Oh, wow.
Now, unfortunately, the dual side of the same coin, I grabbed a butter knife, not anything sharp, so it didn't penetrate. I had a bruise, but it didn't penetrate. And I tried to do it again, but they took the knife away from me. And they didn't tell my parents, and who knows how they would have reacted. And ever since I was young, I knew that I was gay. I liked looking at men's bodies, especially nude. I loved going to the Y because on the upper deck, the sunning deck, you could go clothing optional, which I loved. And so I knew.
How old were you?
That was the earliest memory I could remember is enjoying that. I've known pretty much my whole life that I didn't have the word gay, but I knew I liked looking at men's bodies and was attracted to them and turned on by them. And I couldn't really feel comfortable exploring that because I could hear all my uncles and everybody else talk about the faggots and talk about this or that.
Yeah.
I didn't have the normal dating experience in high school. And I tried to drink as much as possible. Started getting to the bars when I was 16. And as long as I didn't go up and order a drink, because it was kind of like my family didn't own it, but they were really good friends with the owner. So as long as I didn't make a scene, I could drink. So from 16 on, it started getting heavier and I enjoyed it. And then when I turned 18, 21 was a drinking age in Minnesota, but Wisconsin was 18. So every weekend I went over there and I always had someone go with me because I knew I was going to get drunk and to the point of blacking out. I think the first time I really drank, I was 15, seriously. And a friend and I had a pint of peppermint schnapps.
Oh.
And of course, I don't think I ate that much, maybe a bowl of Cheerios. And I got drunk and passed out in my boss's house. And I became the talk of the school. And I was never invited to parties anyhow, but I was definitely not invited to parties after that. And ever since then, I don't like mint. It can cause a real visceral reaction.
For me, it's peach schnapps. That's what, similar story. And I can't stand even peach tea. I'm like, I don't know.
So all sorts of peppermint. And I haven't tried every type of peppermint, but I'm quite okay not having peppermint. 18, hitting Wisconsin. I loved it. I've always worked hard and I was the first one in my family to be able to buy a new car. And my friend, of course, wanted to drive and was happy to go down to Wisconsin with me because he got to drive the car.
At least you had that forethought. That's good thinking.
Yeah. I don't know how much of a forethought, but it was forethought on his part because he knew that I would get drunk. And so I never had the DUI going back and forth from there. And heading back to my early years, I was never supported by my parents. They're typical blue collar, maybe a step up from white trash. I don't know. But I was different. I remember, again, about 2 or 3 years old. We were still living in Wisconsin at the time. My sister broke one of her toys, which was a Viewmaster, which ran on batteries and you could project images on the wall. And so I looked at it and I figured out how to fix it, that it needed a piece of aluminum foil to make the connection. And I told my parents that, and they just went, oh, so what? So I didn't get the praise, I think, that I was looking for being smarter than them, at least in that way. I don't want to say I'm smarter to them than every way, but that's neither here nor there.
That encouragement wasn't there.
Yeah, the encouragement wasn't there. And if I didn't like football, racing, or other macho things, I just...
El Caminos.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, I definitely didn't have encouragement. So the only thing I did as a kid was really read science fiction books because I wanted to get away from reality.
Yeah.
I wanted to mutate. I wanted to have powers. And one of my favorite characters is like Wolverine and the Human Torch because I could cut anybody or keep everybody away from me by fire.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to get close to anybody. Of course, forced to go to school, forced to react with the family. So I learned how to be that chameleon, that learned how to be what people wanted me to be. I was still as a kid and still fucked up and made mistakes. Oops, sorry, can I swear?
Oh, yes.
That's encouraged.
So I got, the physical abuse from that, the psychological abuse. And with as curious as I was when I was younger, that had to get suppressed because I had to survive. And I wasn't encouraged at all as a kid. So it was, I wanted to die most of the time. I started doing self-harm, scratching myself, but I had to be careful. And with knives, I still have an incredible fascination with knives. I have about 15 of them in my apartment. And it's a small one-bedroom apartment.
Right.
But yeah, I like knives. I don't cut myself anymore, but I do like knives.
I can relate to that all-time low of, I just don't want to be here.
Yeah.
I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And for me, it was taking a whole bottle of Tylenol at, I think I was 11.
Oh, yeah.
Or 12. Just get me out of here.
Yeah. That probably would give you a heck of a stomach ache.
And a headache.
Yeah. It's supposed to cure headaches, not cause them. Yeah, I didn't try ODing with meds until I was in my 40s. And so, yeah, I've been locked in the psych wards for attempted suicide. And that's when they finally started me on the depression and everything else and find out I was bipolar. And I think they diagnosed me as bipolar 2, but I have tendencies of being a lot like bipolar 1. And those medicines just screw with you.
And you can't ever not have them.
Oh, yeah. I did one of the stupid things, apparently, from what all the doctors say, because I was on Wellbutrin, and that causes essential tremors in my body, which I still have to this day, and other medications. And I just took myself off all of them. I didn't taper off. I just stopped. And everybody's surprised that I didn't die. And I was off the medications for, probably good 10, 15 years before I had to get back onto them because I was partnered at the time. And I started to do self-harm. And my husband at the time says, if you don't go see a doctor, I'm going to have you committed. And I didn't want to be committed again. So I started on the meds again, but I refused to be on Wellbutrin. So I took some other meds. And I think they would have worked much better if I wasn't drinking so much.
You think?
Because now that I'm sober, they seem to work great. And that's another thing that you should never mix is any type of psych meds with alcohol. But I would rather give up the psych meds than the alcohol at the time.
Yeah, isn't that just a suggestion, though?
I'm still alive. So I think what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Don't know about that, but I'm still alive. And
so what got you thinking about coming to 12-step programs?
14 years into my marriage, and my husband said that he wanted me to stop drinking. The day after, I threw him an early retirement party, which cost me $1,500. And the next day, I couldn't even finish the bottle of wine that we had brought home. And he said that it just, okay. I stopped drinking various times in my life for a period of time. But this time I knew that it was going to be different, that it wasn't going to be just a cleanup for a month. It was going to be different. And so I did, that was February 19th of 2022. But my sober date I have is March 5th, because that's the first time I went into AA. Because I had talked to a friend from the Portland Gay Men's Course and about my stopping drinking, and he was in AA and asked me if I wanted to go to a meeting. So I said yes. And yeah, as Peter was saying earlier, I found my tribe. I found people that had the same shit as me, and everything else. And so I went to my first AA meeting on the 5th at Extended Family. And it's amazing how different my life changed, especially since the fact that it caused me to get a divorce. I was changing a lot. My husband didn't like the fact that all of a sudden I could express myself, because he thought we had great communication, which meant that he talked a lot and I listened. And now I could have people that I could talk to and share with and cry with and everything else. And he didn't know how to change with me or to change, to see that I changed and needed to change. Because he kept on doing these little things that put me down and everything. And I believe that if I would have stayed with him, I would have had many more relapses. And so far, I haven't had any yet. So we talked for a couple months, and I about divorce. We both said yes. Then we talked a little bit more, and he said he wanted to stay married. And I said, no, I don't. And I don't know if this was a learned behavior from childhood where I normally just ran and ghosted everybody, but I couldn't stay married to him and stay sober was my thought. Either that or I was a coward, but both might be true. Both might be true. So by December of that year, we were divorced, sold the house, and now I'm incredibly poor because I'm disabled, which my drinking is obviously had some component to that, but it wasn't the only component to that. It was just, I think the years of PTSD has finally caught up with the drinking and everything else. So in 2013, I became disabled, and which caused me to drink more. Because all of a sudden, I couldn't do anything else except drink. I couldn't walk. I could barely stand up to go to the bathroom. And then, of course, Trump became president. And we said, oh, we're going to be drunk for the next 4 years. I was extremely happy with that. And I took it to heart. And then, of course, COVID happened, which I panicked a little bit until I found out that the wine shop would deliver wine.
Oh, right.
So I was quite fine with that. And even as things started opening up, because my husband had always tried to get me to drink the non-alcoholic beer and everything else. And it just, no, there's an effect that I wanted, and he just didn't get it from the taste of the beer.
One of my funniest things was my partner would buy me the non-alcoholic beer, and then I drink half of it and go in the bathroom and pour vodka into that same can because it smelled the same.
Yeah.
And she never figured out why I was so drunk.
Yeah, boy, you're a lightweight.
That must be a psychosomatic thing. Just the thought of a beer. And now some friends wanted to go to this mocktail bar. And I just, no, I don't want to go to a mocktail bar. I don't want the taste of it. I don't need to hide and pretend that I'm still drinking or pretend that I'm not drinking or whatever. And it just like, and I have been to the bars since then, but only with people that I know. And the first few times were hard. Staring at all the bottles in the back of the bar. It's just like, in the day, I would try to drink them all.
Yeah. I had like muscle memory, I think. And so when I first went, I avoided parties, the bars. I would have panic attacks at the thought of having to go to a situation where alcohol was involved. But then when I finally did go, it was like my mind, I was like, I got to go to the back, because that's what I always did. Went to the back bar because that was the one with the shortest line. I could get the drink the quickest. All of this muscle memory kicked in, and it was frightening.
Yeah.
I had to get out of there.
And muscle memories, I'm around people who drink now, but I can't have a drink sitting right next to my hand because I'm afraid of that muscle memory of just picking up the drink automatically and drinking.
Yeah.
Whether it was my drink or not, I never cared about that.
It did not matter to me.
Whenever anybody drinks, it's like it's always away from me. They don't set their glass near me. Sometimes I forget, but I remind them.
Yeah, and the big book talks about we can go anywhere in the world as long as we have a reason for being there.
Yeah.
And whether that reason being cruising somebody or being in that environment or wanting to dance all night, those are, I think, legit reasons to go out.
Yeah, and I know people that go out dancing, and my body's just not capable of that anymore. Right. And I know once everybody went to gay skate night, and it just, no, my balance is too bad.
My knees.
Yeah. And I know I'm going to probably, highly likely fall, and I just don't need to do that.
Yeah, because we don't bounce anymore.
We don't bounce. No.
You're there.
We're a thud. We're a thud. I've had to learn with the disability to change my life, and it's actually been a good thing because it's made me, I think, a little bit more zen. I don't have to try to be, because when my disability kicked in, I was a massage therapist, going to school for nursing, and I was trying to start a diabetic-friendly ice cream business. So I was...
That's a lot on your plate.
That was a lot on my plate, and I think my body just broke. And so now I look at everybody who's trying to succeed in life. And I'm just so glad I'm not part of that rat race anymore.
Yeah.
And that I can be much calmer. And there's a lot of people in AA who think that I'm like this Zen master because I don't get as upset as other people do. And there's no reason to.
Put me in that club. I consider you your Zen magic.
Yeah. And it's just like when people say that, I just get astounded because I still have all those emotions, but they don't control me like they used to. And which I'm quite happy. I never want to be at that age where my emotions are that out of control.
I'm curious because for me, I use meditation a lot and I also connect with nature. That's my higher power. And I'm curious so for me, after this year of what I've been through, I've really had to up my game with my meditation. And because it's just been very difficult, especially coming off the medications that I've been on. So I'm curious for you, what do you do to keep yourself out of that state? How do you calm yourself or how do you keep yourself grounded?
I like nature as well. I have a few houseplants. Some people think I have a lot, but at one point in my life, I had 145 different houseplants.
What?
Oh,
That is a lot.
I'm looking at this.
I know. I only have like, what is that, 10?
And right now I have 20 and people just think it's a forest in my house.
I love that.
So yeah, definitely nature is a thing. I also do a lot of walking meditation and I've done Tai Chi or Qigong type of thing, which is really nice, helps the body move. You can actually do it seated.
Oh.
So if you have trouble with your knees or anything like that, or balance, which I've had in my disability, it's
for sure.
much easy to do it seated and you still get the benefits and it helps make your body stronger.
For sure. Share that with me after.
Definitely will.
Yeah.
Definitely will. And yeah, I've just started dating recently and spending a night over at my boyfriend's, even though we're not sexual. And he doesn't like to have his shades open. He is in a bottom apartment. I understand that. But he still, one of his shades leads out into this beautiful deck. And behind that is just woods. And he doesn't like shades open. And he has no houseplants. So over the No Kings March weekend, since I live near ice, I spent 2 days with him and I started getting depressed because there was just no natural light. There was no access to nature there. And it's just like he and I talked about it. And I don't know if we'll ever be able to live together. So at least I need my own solarium.
Yeah, I would too. I have to have the green all around. That's what this house has become and what the goal of this house, this is my forever home, is to make it an oasis that I can take a reprieve in. I can become one with the nature and
right.
Yeah.
And for me, having various examples of people coming in my life and just changing my environment from happy, joyous, and free to my grandson moving in and he was wounded, mentally and emotionally wounded. And so it took 1.5 years for him to come out on the other side. But I used to come home and I'd be in a good mood. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh God, here we go. Because I didn't know what to do for him.
Yeah, I remember those times.
I found out it wasn't something that I'm supposed to do for him. It's something that he needs to face and consequences he needs to face and not trying to clean up constantly after him.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you struggled a lot during that time. And I remember when he finally moved out, it's just like the joy in you to have your own space.
Right. Well, he's only across the parking lot. But that's progress.
That's enough. That's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it's age or if it's sobriety or what, but combination maybe of all of that. But I went from thinking I needed to have more, that I needed the condo with the view, I needed the boat, and
the house in the French Riviera.
Yeah. I could still, no. But I'm so happy with what I have here. This little plot of land, this house, it's all I need. I don't need all those things. The only extravagant thing I think I have is the trailer. And that's just for me to be able to get even closer and out with nature more and more. So it's all part of it.
Yeah, I like having plants at home, not necessarily being out in the forest. That's just me, though. My nails would chip.
I don't know. Those acrylics that you wear are pretty strong.
Right? So I wanted to bring up how I first met you, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine and I, they were told that AA wasn't for them because they are trans, and his father had told him that if he ever went to AA, it wouldn't work out because it's all about God and you can't be here because it's an abomination and just bull crap, basically. And I tricked him because he was so not going to go to AA. And I tricked him. We were hanging out on New Year's Eve because we were not going to be like the losers that hung out just being sober on New Year's Eve. So I can't remember if it was lunch bunch or extended family.
Extended family.
Okay. So we walk into the door. We're in the basement. There's these people doing AA stuff, and I'm there to support him, but he thinks he's there to support me. And the first person that came up to me was you. And not only did you give me the most comforting, like loving hug that I had in a long time, you took my phone number and you took my friend's phone number and you just checked in real quick. It was very simple. Just checked in real quick. Hey, good to see you. Hope we see you again, or something like that. And thank God you did that, because 2 days later, I was on my way to the grocery store, and I'm not taking up your whole video, your time. But
I love this story.
yeah, so 2 days later, I was clean and sober. I cleaned my house up, throw every bottle, every pipe, everything away. And I realized I don't have any food at home. So I'm not driving at this point. I get on the bus to go to Safeway to get groceries. And as soon as I got off the bus, there were two guys smoking crack at the bus stop. And it freaked me out so bad, I called you. And I can't remember if I called or texted. I think
You texted at first, and then I called and...
Yeah. So anyway, we ended up connecting, and you let me know that I'm like, okay, so how do I do this? And do I need a passcode? All of these questions that came flying up. And you're like, no. The calm voice of Alcoholics Anonymous, the nurturing voice of you happen to be the one who had already reached out to me. So I was comfortable asking you. And we figured out somehow how to get me on Zoom. And I guess the proof is in the pudding, or you saved my bacon that day. And I'll always love you for that. I'll never forget that. You made a huge impact on my recovery.
I'm glad to hear that.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
That's the beauty of this program. And that's like what you referred to in the beginning. You go into a room where you see all the similarities. And you're like, these are my people. And everybody's got everybody's back, no matter what. I mean, it's...
Yeah. I remember the panic in your voice when I was talking to you. There's a wine aisle. How do I get out of here without going down the wine aisle?
Without my permission, they switched the hygiene department across the aisle from the wine department.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, and the joy of your voice when you finally got outside a Safeway and there was no wine and you got on the bus. I made it. I survived. I'm still sober.
That was huge. That was so huge.
Yes.
And I can never tell you thank you so much. More than every time I tell my story, I make sure that I add you in there because you're an integral part of my recovery.
Yeah. Yeah, you used to tell that story a lot and your shares, and it always made me uncomfortable because you did that. I did one little small thing, but the rest of the recovery is yours. To you, it might be a huge part, but I just was there for you. And so...
And continue to be.
Yeah. But I am not good at accepting praise. That's just not my thing. I much prefer to help people behind the scenes, and I don't need a thank you. I don't need to be patted on the back or anything like that. No. Always wanted that growing up, but I don't need it now.
Every time you see me, just know I'm like, yes, that's my Phoenix.
Yes. And you have, in turn, have done that to so many other people I've seen. and has helped save other people. Talk about carrying it forward, and
Right.
which I'm proud of you and love you dearly.
I love you. Thank you. So when I came in, you had a little over a year.
No, I didn't have that much.
No?
Because I think I only had about 6 months because I got sober in March and you came in December.
Oh, okay.
So I only had 9 months.
Not only.
Yeah.
Because 9 months at that point in my life felt like you're lying.
Right.
Yeah.
Not even at one shot ever anymore.
No, plenty of dreams about drinking, but no drinking. There's a couple times where I would like to have a drink. And those times are, I was watching Jaws, of all things. And this is one of the moments that are most triggering for me, is they have this drink nonchalantly pouring a whiskey at the end of the day and just able to relax. And it's, I would love to be able to have a glass of whiskey at the end of the day, just to change the mindset. And that is the most triggering thing for me. I can walk down the wine aisle. It doesn't really bother me. And I haven't been in a liquor store, but I have no reason to go in there. But just that normalcy of being able to have a drink at the end of the day. But I know if I do, my whole life is going to be focused on having the next one. And I'm going to ignore every good thing that's happened to me.
It's not going to be cute.
No.
Me in my last days was not cute. It was not the thing to do to be who I was in my last days of drinking.
Me neither. Yeah. I have that same thing. I notice in so many shows and movies, and that is always so present. It looks usually like whiskey or something. It's something dark, and they fill a glass and they
chug it.
And it's like, I can't do that. Because like you said, it wouldn't stop at one. And I'd be obsessing about, and there's never enough for me. There's never enough. I realized that on my darkest days when I had the bottle underneath my bed side and I'd come to. That's how I slept. I didn't wake up. I came to, grabbed that bottle, and I couldn't get it. I couldn't get there anymore. I couldn't get to that piece that I had. It was gone.
Just wanted to get to blackout.
Yeah, that's how I was at the end.
That's the only way it gets gone.
Yeah. And I couldn't get there. And that was scary in itself. Because now what? My mind went to others, like, okay, what else is there? God, how stupid. Yeah.
No, it's the disease.
Yeah.
It really is.
So now my disease is sugar.
Sure.
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
I thank God for AA and cookies.
Oh, that's right. You are the cookie guy for the
I'm
meeting.
the cookie monster for AA. I buy all the cookies.
I say it's better than the alternative.
Exactly.
I went through a lot of that to the point where I was pre-diabetic. And for whatever reason, my body's changed enough since I went through this cancer treatment that I'm no longer in the pre-diabetic range and whatnot. But I do have an occasional donut and whatever.
Yeah, you tried to bribe us when we got here from the very donuts.
Yeah, I am diabetic, and so I have to watch that. And thank God I finally was able to start on Ozempic. And luckily, they wouldn't do it just for my diabetes, but since I have heart issues as well, it's good for the heart.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's another.
Yeah.
So it's my cardiologist who actually got me on it. So
I love that.
Yeah. And I don't think I've slimmed down and lost 10 pounds yet, but I'm okay. But I have noticed that I'm not craving as much sugar as I used to. So
maybe that was the goal. The medication was to. So I was saying that, okay, so when I came in, you had 9 months, which I thought was like, oh my God, that's crazy. But watching you, I've tried to follow in your footsteps because after 3 months of coming back to the meetings, then you became the general secretary and you were working with a lot of people. And so where I'm at today, where I learned from you was to be of service. So I followed in your footsteps by becoming the meeting's general secretary.
Yeah.
Which you don't have to know much, you just have to know everything. Everything.
Everything, and be that the central spoke on the wheel of everybody comes to you. And yes. And I was secretary for both meetings.
Oh, goodness.
General secretary. Yeah. And I think I was even, at one point, I was real secretary for 3 meetings. So I've definitely put in my time and the short time that I've been in AA. And now I'm happy to. And I look at you, Colette, and I see how you have progressed as I have progressed. Where you try to do everything, you're going to save everybody, and then you have to learn your limits and your boundaries, which this is great for learning boundaries. And I'm no longer afraid of the word no. I no longer feel guilty for saying no. I no longer have to preface everything with, I'm sorry, but no, and just say no. I don't have to give an explanation, which is lovely.
Which is something that I'm starting to follow you again in, that if I don't do it, somebody else will.
Yeah.
I can say no. And then, because I'm just a name on the list is what I finally figured out. Are you willing to secretary? Yes. So I'm just a name on the list, and it's not going to mean that the meeting won't happen unless I do it, or the Zoom host won't be there if I don't do it.
I think it's a beautiful precedent for newcomers, because that's where I was too for, I think, years. I wasn't supposed to, but I just kept doing it. And then I was part of District 11, and I built their website for them, and I was constantly immersed. But I think as a newcomer, that's, even though you're scared and you feel like you can't, because you're still getting your wits together and you're just out of the fog but it's so important to get that responsibility. And what I found out was I don't like to go up in front of people anyway. And then to have to be up there, and the meeting that I was at, you did a lot more with you had to read all the things. And so it gave me the confidence back. And I also realized that nobody's looking at you like you're screwing up. Nobody's going, you did it wrong.
No one's looking at you.
They've all been there.
Yeah.
They've all been there.
No one's looking at you like you're nude standing up in front of people.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it takes, once you realize that, it takes the weight off. And then I think you get to feel the service that you're giving. You get to get that feeling like, oh, now I can put that away and I can be there for the people, for myself, and for the group. And that's a different feeling. And that's such a good feeling.
Completely. I agree with you. When I was secretary, the first time I could hand out a coin, I broke into tears, because to be able to give a coin to somebody and to see their achievement and to see them grow is just, brought such joy to my heart and tears to my eyes.
Yes.
So
I remember we did have someone that did the coins, and then the secretary, that's how they split it up. And I was on coins, and I used to think, God, I don't have any time. What am I doing giving out these? That was the thought process that went through my mind. So it's interesting how we all are conceptions of these different aspects of the group and of the program.
I started doing water aerobics, and I had to really drill into my water aerobics buddy that no one is looking at you in a swimsuit. Nobody cares what you have on or don't have on. Trust and believe, when you look around the room, no one's looking at you. Just put your suit on and come get in the water. Just trust me in this. It'll get easier if you just keep doing it, not if you stop right now with your fears. Then we won't be doing the water aerobics together.
Yeah. Which, if you would do water aerobics a little closer, because you're doing it out in Gresham.
105th.
Yeah, and it's just, I'm not traveling all that far.
Start.
So they have it.
Maybe we can go to the Mac Club.
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought that was just men's only. Men's Athletics Club is what MAC stands for.
I thought it was Multnomah.
No, could be. But yeah, I have, being on disability, I have a membership at LA Fitness in Lloyd Center. Much closer. They have the aqua classes in the morning.
Oh.
Maybe if you join that, I'll actually go with you.
It's a good workout. It really is a good workout.
It is a good workout. Good workout.
So let's talk about your program really quick. Do you sponsor people currently? Where are you at in your recovery?
Sponsorship is amazing. going back, when I first got into AA, my whole life has been transactional. I expected AA to be like that, and I treated it like that. So my first sponsor was somebody that I thought is hot and I wanted to have sex with. And of course, within 2 weeks, he started me on step 4, which is way too quick for me. And I freaked out, and people said, oh, you can let go of your sponsor and they won't mind because it's not supposed to be their ego. And to this day, he doesn't want to talk to me.
Oh, goodness.
So I got another sponsor and he worked me through the steps. And I took a sponsor when I was about halfway through the steps because I knew everything. And I didn't know everything. And I don't know if I did more harm to my sponsee or anything else because his son's relapsed. I won't take responsibility for his relapse. But now I have sponsees. I finally got another sponsor. And I've had several sponsees. Some success, some not. But again, that's their journey. And I was talking with one of my sponsees on Sunday and was telling him, because he didn't get the homework done that I assigned him, and he didn't do this. And this is your program. You get it done when you need to get it done. I'm going to assign you. I might ride you a little bit so you don't, just so that you can stay in the middle, because it's so easy to slip off the slopes. And you only have 6 months in. Yeah, I definitely love to have sponsees. I'm one of these people that does not take a call at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Goodness.
Because my disability is chronic fatigue. So I have to sleep a lot. And I can't afford to have my sleep interrupted because if I don't get like 12 to 14 hours a day, it feels like I'm sleep deprived and I start to hallucinate.
Right.
More than I normally do. So yeah, I'm not one of those sponsors that will take your call, but then I am not the only person in AA. There are a whole phone list of people that they can call and talk to. I know some people leave the phone by the edge of their bed. Mine is in the other room. But I love having sponsees. I love to do the reading, and I like having conversations with them because as we read, I'll ask them specific questions about their reading. So I make sure that when we read that there's some comprehension in there. Because if you don't read and get the comprehension or think about what you're reading, you're not going to hear the message. So
I think that happens when we start the meeting with chapter 5, how it works. I think the people are like not really absorbing what it is that is being read, but this is part of the meeting, not something that's personal to them.
Yeah, there's some people that they just say it like from memory. And
I can
say a lot of the readings from memory.
If you're not taking it in, if you're just, I can say it from memory, that's not really.
That's like I have my sponsees, once we get to step 9, I have them read the promises in the first person.
No.
I will. I am going to know. I will.
That's great.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it becomes more personal that way.
That's one thing I like about our group is we're not just alcoholics. We have people who are meth users, narcotics, marijuana, and everything like that. And my sponsees, I work with them where they're at. I got an NA book, and I'll work through the NA book with some of them because that's what they're used to. So I try to be flexible, and it's all an addiction, and that's the main thing. But the one thing about NA is it's a little bit more updated and doesn't focus on the religious aspect as much.
Right.
And it's written in more of a 21st century dialect than what the regular book is. So I don't have to sit and explain what some of these words mean to sponsees. Like, who's John Barleycorn?
Right, I know. Yeah, I believe the principles can apply to so many things, even beyond addiction. They're life lessons.
Yes.
The way to live. And you touched on the God thing earlier, I was very turned off by that. And that kept me out of the rooms for quite a while. How did you have a similar spirituality, I think, that I do? How did you process that for those who might be struggling? Because I think that I hear that a lot from others, and that's a big struggle for them to stay out of the rooms. They don't want to say God.
Right.
Yeah. First coming to the rooms, I heard it was a spiritual program more than a religious program. And that's all it took for me, because I've been spiritual in nature, and I'm one of these people who hears voices and occasionally see things. And it's not in a delusional way. And the voices have never told me to kill people. They just are warnings or guides. I wouldn't want to get rid of that. And so that's just part of my spirituality. And that's part of listening to whatever this universe is trying to say or tell me. And yeah. And with my sponsees, it's just, and I think I got this from you, Colette. Who do you want your God to be? Who do you want your higher power to be?
What attributes?
Yeah, all the attributes that you want. And it's really interesting because some of my sponsees, I want the big house, I want this. And it just, those are things, not attributes. So how about being nice to people? How about helping people? It's, oh, no. And that's who they are right now.
My philosophy is if you like it, I love it.
Yeah. And that's one thing I like working with sponsees and just seeing people in the room is how their points of view change so much over time, because they stop criticizing the syntax of the book and they start listening to the message and can hear the message. Somebody might say the word God, but then they have their own version of it. And it's not, this old white guy. Thank God.
Yeah, for me, it was a group of drunks, G-O-D, a gift of desperation, G-O-D, and there's another one. My brain's not working. Okay, those two.
Yeah, I can't remember the third one. There are three different that I've heard.
Good orderly direction.
There it is. That's it. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Good orderly direction. So, yeah, I just try to focus on the spirituality and try to get out of that God mode. And I try to put something relevant to them. If they're a musician, then music is their higher power. So there's so many different things.
And my sponsor has me reading a book on how to work through the 12 traditions.
Yep.
So that's my new adventure. So if I start quoting the big book, just pop me in my mouth.
Yeah.
Just go sit down somewhere, Colette.
And with a lot of my sponsees, there's some of them that we read the 12 editions, not the big book, because I'm helping them work the steps. But then we'll read chapters in the big book as well, but they want to know about the traditions and how to work them. So, yeah, again, meeting more of my sponsees where they're at. And because I know when I first came into AA, everybody said, do you have a sponsor? And I couldn't tell you the difference between the 12 steps and the 12 traditions. Yeah. And then to start to read the big book, it's just like everybody else. I had problems with the syntax, the straight white male dominating everything. And then some of my sponsees, I read the stories out of the back of the book. And on Sunday nights at my meeting that I secretary, we read through the stories in the back of the book.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Because we get to focus on the stories. And I know they do the big book reading on Saturdays, but you only get 4 or 5 pages done.
Right.
So you don't really get a story. And we can read a story in the 25 minutes and still have time to talk about it. So, yeah, I run my meetings a little differently than other people do. And I'm not a traditionalist. I can't do things literally the same way. And if you've ever seen me in a meeting, I never read the script the same way. It's just impossible for me to do. That's not my psyche.
One thing I've learned just from all the shows that we've done and all the different people from different meetings and different addictions, that there's something good out of everything. Every program has something you can take away from it. And that all that's required is make it your own. So make the program your own. The way I do it, the way you do it, the way Colette does it, we're all different and we're sober. Yeah. So there's got to be something okay about doing it differently and not having to march like soldiers to the same beat.
The chairperson today is a prime example of watching someone grow. Like when they came in, they were so introverted and so quiet and could barely say their name. And when they were chairing the meeting today, she's all over the place, just happy, go lucky and talking and joking. And that's why I keep coming back some of the times.
Yeah.
It's because I can see people grow.
Yeah.
That's focusing on not the differences, but the similarities.
Yes.
Because after we work the program, we all get a little bit more confidence in our voice. We're not afraid to speak, have better boundaries, and we are definitely not a glum lot.
Exactly.
Yeah. At this point in my life, sobriety is my life. And so what you say about not being a glum lot, I used to think, oh, it's over, Peter. You're done.
Exactly.
And no, we have so much fun outside of the rooms. There is so much fun to be had. And if you are, like I was in the beginning, uncomfortable going to a club to go dancing or whatever because of the association from the past, you got these people with you and they're all there just, come on. And it's freeing. It's freeing for me to have that.
And for me, it feels like I'm in this protective bubble of people that are in my bubble.
And not only in your bubble, but people that you can actually trust. Because I never really trusted anybody, not even myself. And now there's these people that I know they have my back. And if I start to slip, they can yank me or pull me back into the center. And if I do slip and they're not around, that they'll welcome me back. Yeah. It's just an amazing group of people. And I wish it wouldn't have taken me 57 years to get sober. But it is what it is. And I look for what I can do now, not regret what I've done in the past or what I could have done in the past.
Because the book says we will not regret the past or something like that.
Yeah.
We will not close the door on the past, nor
we will not regret the past.
We not regret the past or shut the door on it. Yeah. That's part of the promises.
Yeah.
So, and I love that.
Yeah.
All righty, my dear.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
for
much.
Being so vulnerable and heartfelt with your story. We often ask, although the story itself is usually enough of an inspiration for those listening, but if there's someone struggling out there or maybe not even in the rooms yet, what would you say to them? What guidance would you give them?
Oh, actually, one of the things that I've heard people say, it's just, I've already hit my bottom. How can I hit my bottom again? And I often remind them, it's like, you never get rid of the shovel. You can always dig a deeper hole.
That's awesome.
So you have to stay center in the program in order to make sure that you don't dig yourself another bottom, because the earth is pretty damn big and it goes all the way through.
I could dig a big hole.
Yeah. And so it's your choice on whether you keep that shovel close, which for us, it's the bottle or whatever our drug of choice is, to keep us humble. And you can only give them the bits of wisdom, and hopefully it perks around and the seeds sprout at some point.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you so much again for being here. So appreciate it. So glad that so grateful you are in my life.
Ditto.
Thank you. Thank you. Love you both.
This is Peter with the Real Recovery Podcast with
Colette too.
With Phoenix here. And thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
That's a wrap on today's episode. Thanks to each and every one of you for lending us your ears and hearts. Your engagement is what fuels our passion and keeps this podcast thriving.
We cherish the moments we share here and hope they resonate with you, whether you're on a daily commute, at the gym, or just taking a moment for yourself.
Make sure to head over to our website at realrecoverypodcast.com. While you're there, subscribe to our newsletter for the latest insights and uplifting stories from our community delivered straight to your inbox.
Click that subscribe button on your favorite podcast player too, so you can keep up with every new episode. It's your support that keeps our conversation alive and meaningful.
And if our stories have touched you, consider using the donate button on our site. Your contributions, no matter the size, are deeply appreciated. They help us continue our mission of sharing hope and healing.
Join us beyond the podcast and follow our journey on social media. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, and on X, formerly known as Twitter. All the links are on our site. so you can stay connected and be a part of the Real Recovery community every day.
Your likes, shares, and comments not only spread the message of recovery, but also remind us that we're all in this together.
So, until we meet again, remember that recovery is a journey, not a destination, and we'll be here to accompany you every step of the way to recovery, real recovery.
Thanks for listening.